A lot of Gen Zs, they're just getting started and they got it all twisted because they see people like Albert and they see people like Patrick Bet-David, and then they see people like Bobby Castro, and they want to have that life at 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And what they have to realize is you have to do everything yourself. So you do have to be like Syl and do what poor people do and go and drive to get services and drive back and maybe even drive to like the ghetto to get your nails done because you're going to save a lot of cash. And that cash, you could use it to buy a book, learn, and get smarter right here. So you got to use your money wisely. But as you become more successful, then you use your time more wisely, not your money. Hey guys, welcome back to Driven Couples, and we're here again. This is the recap of Driven 6. So, to me, where I want to start is that no matter how much you learn, how much experience you have, where you came from, the only thing that matters is execution. Yeah. If you don't execute, you're not going to have the watches you want. You're not going to have the cars you want. You're not going to have the house you want, the office you want, the business you want. You're not going to have any of that. So to me, execution is the most important thing ever.
Agreed. Execution, action, implementing what you've learned is obviously key. So, common sense.
What was your biggest takeaway from Driven 5? Driven 6, I mean.
I know, crazy. There was a lot of takeaways. I always loved self-improvement events. So for me, there's always something to take away. And even if you take one thing you're going to implement, which most people don't, then it's a win, So for me, it was a lot of different things that I took away from every speaker, really, because the lineup was amazing like it always is. I know Albert works really hard on getting you guys an amazing lineup, but yeah, it was just amazing. Driven.
So guys, let me start it off with fire here because Syl's obviously not a fast starter.
Be quiet.
So I'm gonna get this started, and one of the biggest things also that I'm gonna share about Driven that I deal with on a daily basis. I know Syl does as well, but I'm gonna talk about myself on how I deal with it. And it's about pivoting, changing, and no matter what gets in your way, you have to just fucking figure it out. So, for example, like last week they were asking us about how do you work with your spouse. So a lot of people that come to Driven and other people that have attended Driven in the past, they work with their spouses and they're very successful. They have high net worth. So think about it this way, Jeff. If you're with a girl, right, it's different than when you get married, you have kids, and you live in the same house and you work in the same business. One request I have here live for Syl is that whenever you want me to do things, you communicate in the beginning of the day and you tell me, hey, I'm going to need you to do this, drive this, pick up this. Because
Albert's problem is
when you
that
have,
he leaves cars all over the place. That's your problem.
Because when you have, like, I wake up and I know what I have to do. I have my own car. I have my own shit to take care of, and I know that like Syl has her car and her own shit to take care of. So I know what I got to do today. Every day I have a packed schedule, so I know what I got. I'm independent, so I know what I got to do today. I know tomorrow. I know the next day. So, for example, today, Syl has her girl shit that she has to take care of. So, she's...
My girl what?
She has your girl shit that you have to take care of. So, she's...
and he took care of his guy shit, which is cutting his hair for 2 hours.
In the locker room. Yeah, but that's my shit. I'm not asking you to change your day. Mm-hmm. You asked me today to change my day. So communication is key. So in the beginning, moving forward, just tell me I need you to.
Driving the kids.
No, you just don't say that. We can't talk about that right now. But like, ask me, hey, I need you to pick up this, drive this, or do this because today I was gonna go to Equinox. I had my day planned today to max out my results. So like today, she's getting her girl shit. So I'm very happy that Syl took my coaching, and now she has her eyelash girl. That's eyelash, right? Not pedicure, manicure.
Yes.
Or yeah.
You can't do a pedicure laying down.
So she now has her eyelash girl. She comes over here to the office to do that procedure that she gets done every 2 weeks.
Her.
And now she pays a little bit more, but now the nice lady drives to our office and does the work and then drives back to her place. So that is what rich people do. Rich people value time. Poor people waste time. I talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
So for the longest, Syl was acting like a poor person because she would drive all the way there, waste so much. Just think about it, guys. You don't have to have even common sense, or it's not rocket science, but you got to think about if you live in a place like LA, it's going to take you an hour to drive a couple miles because you're going to have traffic. Then you put yourself in a bunch of other situations driving in LA. Then you have to park. Then you have to get off the car, get to the place, drive back, find your car. You might have a ticket. You might get robbed. You might get assaulted. You might slip and fall. Something might happen. You might get in an accident because there's a lot of bad drivers.
So extra.
So when you have your services come to you, I never go to services. Like, Martin, how often do I go get shit done? Never. Like, I don't go to the gym. I have my gym here. Like, I don't go eat.
You were gonna go to Equinox today.
I don't go eat. I was gonna go to Equinox because I was gonna meet somebody that was gonna help me make more money. Okay? So the gym is to be used. You go to the gym to meet people, not to work out. You go to a dinner or a lunch for a business relationship, not to eat. Like, I have my guys that come in here to the office and they want to go have lunch on Wednesdays or on Mondays. I'm like, I don't have lunch. I don't have time for lunch. Hey, how about we get some food delivered here and we eat? Because how long does it take you to eat lunch? 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
5-10 minutes. Hey, John, let's eat. 5-10 minutes. Let's go. We'll talk about it and then we'll move on. Because going to lunch, going to dinner is what poor people do. That's wasting time. Rich people buy time. There's DoorDash. Even take it to a higher level. Have your assistant order you DoorDash so you don't have to waste time inputting all the DoorDash shit, because then they change to the app and then that's a waste of time. Then you have to figure it out and be like going through the whole menu. So I'm very happy today that Syl's committed to not changing my schedule in the morning and then leaving and then just completely restructuring my morning, because then it gets in the way and then I have to adapt. I could adapt, but that's not needed. So she forced the issue today. So she's not going to do it again, which I'm very happy, because now she's going to communicate, I need you to help me, and ask, and she's going to ask for the favor instead of just switching everything around. And I'm very happy that now Syl is going to have more time to focus on money-making activities now that she took my coaching and now she's getting people to come to her. So I'm very proud of you, Syl, for doing those things. Very, very, very glad.
So just so you guys understand, because guys think a little bit differently, the thought process is a little delayed, in my personal opinion. So this is the thing: are you gonna get any barber to come to your house when you used to have a barber to cut your hair, or is it a specific barber? Now you cut your own hair. So before, were you just gonna let a random Joe that's willing to come to you cut your hair?
When my barber couldn't come, I did it myself. No. So when you can't get your eyelashes by your eyelash girl, yes, Steph does.
You can't do lashes yourself.
Jackie does.
Not these kinds of lashes. You can't stick them on with your eyes closed.
Sometimes you got to stick them up.
So my point being that I finally convinced her to do it, and I pay her a lot more, but it buys me time. But for you ladies, you guys understand. You ladies understand that it's very, very hard. Just like it is to find a good nail person, it's hard to find a good lash person, because the world is full of average people who don't necessarily take pride in what they do, regardless of what it is. So finding good people is hard, period. So when I find a good person, a good thing, something that works for me, I stick with it until it doesn't work anymore. When it doesn't work anymore, I change it. It's super, 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 super common sense. Very basic stuff. So she's only like 20 minutes away from the office, so it's not a huge deal. Absolutely, I would rather pay more to get her to come to me. And like I said, I was able to finally convince her by paying her more. I've been working on it for like 8 months now. But
and guys, what people don't realize is like people pay me $15,000 for 1 hour. They fly from all over the place, and I have plenty of people on standby because my time is very, very valuable. So Syl has me. She does sleep a lot. So 8 hours that she sleeps, 9 hours. So take away 9 hours from 24. So she has me for, what is that? What's the math? 17 hours a day, right? 24, take away 9 hours that she sleeps. So she has me 17 hours in a day. And so if you do the math, like 15,000 times 17 hours. And it takes her this long to take one of my coaching tips. So I'm very happy with that. And
you just
and
missed
also
what I just said. Did it go over your head?
I want to spend more time with this subject because it is very important to understand, though, that in the beginning, you have to do everything. So in the beginning, when you're broke, when you're getting started, you do have to drive everywhere. You do have to do every job. You are your own assistant. You can't. There's a lot of people that are confused, especially like very young millennials or what's the before the millennials? This is the Gen X, Gen Z, right? Gen Z, right?
I think that's after.
Okay, what's before millennials? I don't want to say. Yeah. Before I know, but I forget what all these new ones. Before millennials.
Generation X.
How do you know that?
I'm making it up.
Yeah, so don't make things up because you make a lot of things up.
No, I don't.
So Gen Z. So Gen Z, I was right. I was right my second try. So Gen Z, those are people from 10 to 25. So millennials are old now. So if you're a millennial watching this, you're old. Now the Gen Z is the future. I used to, and it's crazy because I used to talk smack about the baby boomers and Gen X. Yeah, baby boomers are the old ones. Yeah, they're the old ones. Those are like they're getting ready for their next life. But millennials are now old. You know, millennials are now getting 26 to 41. Gen Z, those are 10 to 25-year-olds. So where I'm going to is a lot of Gen Zs, you know, they're just getting started and they got it all twisted because they see people like Albert and they see people like Patrick Bet-David, and then they see people like Bobby Castro, and they want to have that life at 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And what they have to realize is you have to do everything yourself. So you do have to be like Syl and do what poor people do and go and drive to get services and drive back and maybe even drive to like the ghetto to get your nails done because you're going to save a lot of cash. And that cash, you could use it to buy a book, learn, and get smarter right here. So you got to use your money wisely. But as you become more successful, then you use your time more wisely, not your money. Yeah. So that's why I say rich people buy time, poor people waste time. So I know a lot of people that are very young, or actually not even young. There's people that are like old but think like a young person, which is even worse. So people that are old and they're still acting like kids. So these people probably don't even have a penny in their bank account. Maybe they have a little bit in their bank account, but they're acting like they're big bosses. They're going to dinners and spending $200 on a dinner, $300 on a dinner, but they don't have that money. They're calling for services for people to come to them, but they don't have that money. They're pretending to have money when they haven't earned it yet. So what you guys have to do when you're, and it doesn't matter how old you are, but even if you're 30 and you're just getting started, maybe you're 49 and you're just getting started. Hey, you got to start from where you're at and you got to do everything yourself right now, and you got to waste time because you don't have money. You have time, but you don't have money. When you have time, when you have money, you buy time. But when you don't have money, you have all the time in the world, so you got to do all that stuff. You got to save as much as you can so that you spend every penny into self-improvement to learn right here. You learn right here, you polish your brain, you sharpen the knife, and then you do things faster. So then that's when you start doing what Syl did, which she graduated to the next level today. And she caught me off guard. She's like, the girl's coming to me. And I'm like, wow, Syl, it almost erased all my anger that I had with her whole switching my morning schedule, my morning routine.
One thing.
And it made me so happy that, you know what, finally my hard work, all my effort that I've been putting out to help my wife become a better person, it finally my dream became a reality.
He's not a very good listener.
I am very happy for that. So if you guys have any questions, please comment, text right there. Steph's checking on all the questions. Ask some questions because I can give you guys a bunch of information, but I want to know what you want to learn so that I can help you based on where you're at, because everybody's in a different place, and I want to help you guys based on where you are. So anything you want to add to that before we move on, Syl?
That I said that I finally convinced her. So it's not that I didn't want that. It's just it wasn't a possibility.
That seems like a sales problem.
No, I had to propose a business plan for her.
That seems like a sales problem. So once again, you have me available 17 hours a day. Look at the way I close people. I've closed more people than anybody you know in your entire life.
No, I don't know about that one.
How many businesses do we have?
Doesn't matter.
How many people are part of the company?
Doesn't matter.
How many people come to Driven?
Doesn't matter.
Closed all of them.
Anyway, so you asked me what was the question?
Anything that's your problem, not mine. Anything else you want to add to before we move on to the next subject?
So buying time is super, super, valuing your time. There's a question?
Yeah, but keep saying what you're saying.
Valuing your time is super, 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 super important. Most people waste time. That's a fact. I've never had that problem, so I like to keep myself busy.
How about when you used to go grocery shopping? How about that?
I like grocery shopping.
Do you love it?
I love it.
You love it?
I love it. You know that already, though. It's not a surprise to you, is it? Is your memory that bad?
Yeah, but I don't believe you.
I love groceries.
You love getting the tomatoes and
I love looking
and going
at the
ingredients, and staring at them and being like, oh my God, this tomato has a big butt. Oh, wow, this tomato has more leaf.
Yeah.
You like doing that and putting it in the bag?
I do.
Watching it go down the bag?
I do. I love grocery shopping.
And then waiting in line to pay? You like that?
I love grocery shopping.
Do you guys think she's lying?
I swear.
You guys really believe her that?
What is wrong with that? I like it's nice to walk around, look at everything, buy the things that we currently use, maybe substitute with a better product. I like to do that. Okay, when we don't have things, so I order groceries and then now we have someone that shops for us. But it's not the same. I never have what I need.
Do you like that?
The list is always incomplete.
Do you like that better than anything else?
I love grocery shopping, yes.
Yeah, but do you on a list from your top 10 things to do at any moment, is that at the top of is that one of your top 10s?
Yeah.
Yeah, she has no hope on certain things, guys. Let's go to the question, Steph.
First question comes from Jeff.
Jeff. Jeff.
There we go. She let me on mute. I hate when people have control. What's up?
What's
How
up?
you guys doing? I like to be always in control. So yeah, a question. This is saving time. Actually, truth be told, there was a guy yesterday who has a dry cleaning bag, shirts and everything. And I was just like, man, I could just leave it down at this new place. But my question, because of Alpha Slice, and everybody said, hey, position yourself as a consultant. I do personal branding. Everybody in their kitchen, I'm sure you get this more than me, Albert, since you've been in this space a little bit longer. Jeff, you're in Miami. Let's hang out. I want to pick your brain. Let's go to lunch.
Stop pushing that button. I could hear him. Yeah, because repeat the last five. You said everybody, when people go to Miami and they know you're there, they start hitting you up. Hey Jeff, let's meet up, and that continue from there because I lost you.
Yes, they say let's meet up. I want you to look over what we're doing. I want you to take a look at, my copy, my brand, my funnel, right? That's all kind of in my niche, right? And what's the best way to position that for when people do that? You know what I mean? Like they're in here. I'm coming to LA tomorrow, so I usually just fly out of town. Hey, I won't be here. I'll be in LA tomorrow,
So I used to have that problem, started quite a while ago, but number one thing I think for you would know better than me, but you need to get an assistant full time, or if you're not ready, you have one?
So I buffer. So what I do is and I've gotten better at this. I buffer it off. I say, yeah, reach out to my executive assistant and they'll book time. They qualify it. They actually book and pay for my time to a deposit down. And then I'll credit them off any of the services we offer. So we just built that system in probably like 2 weeks ago. And it's been working out much better. But like it still happens. And that's why I'm just like, how your circle gets very small, right? On who you're going to be with, right? As you go. But you're a businessman, so you want to do business with everybody. So the challenge now is kind of just still positioning it and wording it, I guess, that way. But the executive assistant has been a life changer.
Yeah. So Jeff, like I can't go over like in detail, but for example, like if you're making $100,000 a year, if you're making $500,000 a year, if you're making $1 million a year, if you're making millions a year, your value is going to be worth less or more. So when your value is lower, then you kind of have to meet as many people as you can, because you got to get known and you got to have your doors open. But as you go up in levels of wealth, your value of your time becomes way more valuable. So then you have to say no more often. When the higher you get, the more no's you have to say to people, because your time is just that valuable. If people want to see you, then they have to book you, they have to pay you a lot of money, or they have to meet you wherever you're going to be at events or wherever you tell them to meet you. But in the beginning, you do have to meet everybody.
Events. That's what I always tell them. I'm going to Driven, meet me at Driven.
Exactly. Exactly. So people have that opportunity to meet you. And this is in general, anybody watching this, like if like Bobby or Patrick, right? I'm not just gonna be like, hey guys, call me right now, or hey, you know what? I'm in Miami. I'm gonna stop by your office. You can't do that, because these people, if they're worth hundreds of millions, they probably have a super packed schedule. Mm-hmm. They're busy a year in advance already, so you have to respect that. So people have to understand how to do that. So in the beginning, I would have people show up to my office, but that's why we started closing the door, and then they would meet the receptionist, and then they would get stopped, and then it's just not a good time to you just can't stop what you're doing. Then as we grew more, then now we have the entire floor where it's just more you get more privacy, and you have to protect your time. So your assistant, that's a great move, but now like you have to figure out, hey, this is how much my time is worth. If people want to pay me what my time is worth, then we'll schedule it. But everything has to be based on a schedule. You have to schedule it. It's not just like you are available on demand, if that makes sense.
No, that totally helps. And that totally makes sense, because I think that's what it was for the biggest time when I started. I want to get there. I said yes to everything. Now it's really just filtering, qualifying, saying to exactly the people that, I can actually help, right, in our niche, personal branding, copy.
And also, look, I'll give you another quick tip. Your phone should be on mute. My phone doesn't ring, it doesn't vibrate, it's on silent. So my phone is on silent for a reason, because I don't get interrupted. And when people start interrupting me too much, they have to go away. Because I'm not an interrupting machine. Like, I'm busy all the time, and when you're focused thinking on something big and somebody comes and interrupts you, that it takes a while to get back to your high level thinking. So you can't be interrupted. You can't be reacting. Like I said in the beginning, you have to be available for everything. In the beginning, your phone rings, you want it loud, extra loud, because if somebody calls you, you got to take it, because it could be a client. But as you grow, you build systems, you build a team, you have a huge team, and then people help you. And if they have a question for marketing, they call marketing. If they have a question for accounting, they call accounting. They don't call you. But my phone is always on silent. I don't, my emails, my text messages, I don't react to them. There's a time that I have in the day where I'll check my phone and I'll be, oh, look, I have this missed call. I have this I'll go over my text messages at once. So that's higher level operating, but that's something you got to do. And then if you have your phone number that you give out to people, maybe you give that phone number out to your assistant. But you know how big you are, and you know if you could afford that, you know if you can't. So make sure your assistant helps you with as much as possible. You want to add something to that, Syl?
Just guarding your time is important because it's easy to be busy all day and get nothing done, basically.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, that's why I'm so glad. I'm actually working right now, but my phone was actually up to get a part of you because the quality time and to actually just be around you guys. And I'm doing a lot of that already. Albert, you'll see I'm kind of in the transition point of where I'm saying no to more, building out teams we haven't. And it's all process, it's all systems and stuff. So so that helps totally to know that I'm on the right track, you know?
Yeah.
So
Cool.
as we go forward. But I'll be in LA tomorrow for a little event. And anyway, I just want to say I appreciate you guys that you guys made LA so much better every time I go there. I never liked it until you. All the events you put are always class act driven 6 again. So I just want to say thank you for all you guys do.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff.
You got it.
So what else? Driven.
You know what I want to show these people really quick? Let me see if Bobby answers me on the spot.
4.
Just to show them how time is valuable.
He's probably scuba diving in a cave in Italy somewhere.
Looks kind of scary because you could see like the Matt Albert and then the other Albert.
I hate that picture.
Keep talking, Syl.
We don't. He's busy, y'all.
You
Didn't you just talk about that?
You got the, yeah, but I want to see like because there's something more to that I want to share. But back me up. Talk. You have content, babe.
Anyway, so if you were at Driven, then you know exactly the value that is provided by all the speakers, and it's really refreshing. It's really nice to just see the points of view and the different ways that, you know, one can be successful. And not only that, but
They're busy.
the actual how different it is for everybody, right? The struggles, you know, that every single person on that stage has had. Dean Graciosi was really, really good. He was probably one of my favorites, and just the way that he thinks, it's very, very, very impressive. But he's also, how old is he? 50 something?
I think it's 53.
So he has the experience, and experience is, as we all know, something you cannot buy. So for me, just sitting there listening to him, I'm like, damn, like he has so much knowledge, so much experience. He's so wise, and it's just really, really awesome to be able to kind of touch those types of people, because in the hopes that it all rubs off, if that makes any sense. But Patrick was also amazing. We've known Patrick for a really, really long time, and seeing his growth over the years is super amazing. It's kind of like we've been on this path. You know, he's obviously a couple years ahead of us, but it's just impressive, and it's something to look forward to, that we're like on the right path. It's reassurance in a sense, where we know we're on the right path, on the right direction. Everything that we go through, the struggles, the craziness, it's just part of it, right? And once you get to that finish line, if you will, which you never do, the target keeps moving. Watching Patrick, you know, he just sold his company. It was just really awesome sitting there next to him.
Before getting to that next question, Steph, one thing that I want to tell you guys to do, that maybe some of these more experienced, successful business people would tell you, like Graciosi, you know, like Grant Cardone, like throw me another one, Ed Milet. Mm-hmm. So some of these people would tell you, hey, you know what? You gotta pay the price now to play later. And these guys are obviously older than me, right? One of the things that I believe in, that I think maybe these people that I mentioned, they don't agree with me. Like, we have a disagreement here, is that I believe that you should have everything young. So I believe that you should fly private young. I believe that you should drive a Ferrari convertible young. I believe you should have the best sex with the hottest girls young. So I just believe that everything you have to do it young, because what's the point of waiting till you're 50 or 60 to have that? A lot of people, like, look at what happened to Kobe.
Yeah.
You know, like, your life, like, when people say pay now to play later, what if you're not alive later? So I want to be able to do all those cool things while I'm young. Like, I want to be a young, hot father. I don't want to be I don't want to be 60 and have a 20-year-old girl. Like, I don't want to, like, I don't want to be an old guy dating a young girl. Like,
you have a wife, so we don't have to worry about that.
So I want to do everything young. So that's why when I was really young, I got my first Ferrari, and then I started doing all these crazy things young. Like, come on, look at this office. Some of you guys have been to this office. This is like a dream office. Like, after this podcast, I could literally go to my own bar that I own and have the best drink ever made in the world.
Who's gonna make it?
I have a lot of bartenders. Okay, so maybe you call that girl, Steph.
Wow.
I need a drink after this, but you guys get the point. After this, I could go to the gym, which is like 10 steps from here, maybe 5 steps from here, and work out. Then I could go and shower next door, because we have a shower, we have a locker room, we have everything. We have a pool table. I could go play pool right now after this. I could cancel my entire schedule for today and just call over all my friends and tell them, come to my headquarters and let's play some pool and have some drinks. And then I'm going to have the game afterwards, because we have a TV right there at the bar. I can do whatever I want. I could invite my buddies to come have a smoke with me outside in the balcony. So I think that's what life is all about. I'm not even 40 yet. Talking about 50 and 60. I'm not even 40 yet. I'm in my 30s. So I love playing young and paying young. You could do both. You could pay and play when you're young. So that's why, like, before Driven Syl, I told you, hey, you know what? I want to go to my favorite place in the world, Dorado Beach. And of course, we're going to fly private. We haven't flown commercial in 2 years, over 2 years. So I like the life that we have. And remember, one thing that I go by is, I told you when I got the Ferrari, even though we couldn't afford it, I got it. And I said, at least if they repossess it, I'm going to drive it for 3 months.
He did say that.
And I'm going to know what it feels like it. I'm going to know what it feels like it. And that even if I die after 3 months, I drove a Ferrari, my dream car. And guess what that did? It just opened my capacity to think even bigger and fly. So I don't know. We are going to become billionaires very soon. And when we become billionaires, it's still not going to be enough.
It's never enough.
I'm probably going to be the first Mexican to be a trillionaire. I'll leave it like that. So, what do you feel about that, Syl?
I mean,
once again, guys, if you have questions, make sure you let Steph know so that we can get you on the video. And if you're watching on Instagram, text that number. We're going to end the Instagram right now. So we're going to end the Instagram. Text that number if you want the private link to continue and watch this podcast live and ask questions. So text that number. I'll see you guys.
So
Bye.
cold.
It's not cold.
So it's a total possibility, because before anything can happen, you have to be able to envision it. And I think that that's something that you're very good at.
I am a visionary.
Casting your vision. But then we back it up with the work, right? And that's where I come in. So we kind of team up, and putting in the work is the most important part. And we've been doing it since I met you, basically. I mean, we've been working really, really hard, for a very long time, a lot of years. So I think that's
Remember when
something
they
that-
used to make you pick me up like at 3 a.m. to go to the gym?
6, yeah, like 5 in the morning, and then he would
Or earlier,
not
like
3
4
in the morning.
to be at the gym at
No
5.
way. I would get up at 5 and
No,
then
you would do
go
a lot of
drive
things before. See, and this is one thing, guys.
We
like,
didn't have kids.
When you start dating, you're like, hey babe, rub my back, and babe rubs your back for like an hour and a half. Hey babe, let's go to the gym at 5 in the morning. Yeah. Let's go. I'll hey babe, pick me up at 4. There's your babe. Hey babe, let's cuddle in bed. You go on top of me. And yeah babe. but you date for a long time. You get married. You have kids. And then all of a sudden, you got to work a little harder for babe. You know, like it's not as easy as, hey babe, let's go. No, now it's like, hey babe, you know what I mean. So, big. Maybe I should write like some like maybe a segment on that on how to influence your babe to do the same things she did when you guys met. Let's go with that question, Steph.
This question is from Hernan Benitez.
Hernan,
Hernan Benitez.
you're silly.
I'm just good at what I do.
Silly.
Hello.
Hi, how are
Hey,
you?
Hernan.
Wow, vea pues. Nice to meet you guys.
Hi,
Nice
how
to
are
meet
you?
you.
So, a little background on my question. I'm started in real estate, grew my business to be a builder and a developer. My wife has a corporate job, does very well for herself, not exactly the happiest in her job, yet can provide a lot of background asset to me in just the whole logistics of what I do. I'm building multiple properties. And being that you guys work together and have a little bit more, I guess, a foundation on doing that. So I wonder if you could provide any tips to that effect.
So have you successfully working together? I just want to make sure I understand your question.
No, so we don't currently work
No,
together.
I know, but you want to know tips on us working together.
Right, just on the whole dynamic. I mean, we'd love to, she's a big advocate of, the HGTV, and she sees what I do for a living, and she loves the whole concept of what we do as in a family business per se.
Got it.
And I want to include her more in that because I think she has a lot of value that she can provide. But there is that dynamic. We do have 3 young girls, and we have a house, and we have 2 dogs, and we have sports, and etc. We do have a full-time nanny that provides that time that you guys just spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to just kind of implement her more into what I'm doing, but there's always that restriction of you have a corporate job, should we let that go? What do we do? Insurance, etc.
So
Hey, quick question. What her corporate job, like more or less,
What does
how
she
are
do?
her working hours and what is her income like?
So her working hours, she works from home. She's super flexible. She is in finance, and she's upwards of 150K a year.
So what? Just really quick, and I'll let Syl answer most of this. But what I would do is I would get how much. You mentioned her income. I would look at how much your income is with your business, and I would just, numbers don't lie. So I would see, okay, well, if your business has because her income probably doesn't have much upside. She's probably like at the top. Maybe she could increase it a little, but maybe your business has a lot of upside, and you guys can really blow up together. So I would look at that, look at the numbers, and if it makes obvious sense, then maybe it makes sense for her to help you, and you guys just blow that business up. But that's my opinion. But also, she has to be interested. She has to want to do it, because you can't force your because I coach a lot of couples. You can't force your wife or your husband to do something that they're not passionate about, that they don't like. You can't force them. So that's never going to work either. So those are the 2 things I would consider, but you probably have better answer.
So this is the thing. If you are going to go into business together, you have to very early on, if not immediately before even bringing her on board or considering bringing her on board, I would right away from the beginning say, this is what I do. This is what we need. This is what you would like, basically identify roles. And why that? Because then you don't get in each other's way. Because I see a lot of couples that they're in each other's face all day, right? And that's not healthy for anybody, you know. And for example, him and I have different things we do all day. We split up. Yesterday was a perfect example of that. It was just crazy. It's like he was here, I was there. We had all of our team in the office, multiple salespeople, trainings going on, interviews going on, recruiting. It was just crazy, right? And we divide up to where he's handling that and I'm handling this, and we kind of split and conquer, if you will. And like this morning, how he said that I ruined his day, I thought I was clear when I said that, you know, I needed him to handle that because of this, then this is the way we need to handle it, right? The issue is that he loves to leave his cars all over the place, you know, which that's a different issue. But so it's more than anything communication and identifying roles and making sure, like he said, that she's willing to do it, because a lot of people do try to force working together and it's more of a con than a plus. I've seen it happen a lot where a husband will bring the wife into the business and she was really never ready, even though she thought she was, or they both thought that she was. And then you kind of go downhill from there. So you don't want to do that. So it would be important to sit down, have the conversation, just say, hey, this is how I think we can grow. This is what you can bring to the business, contribute, and then make sure, again, that the finances, it's going to make sense. Because even if at the beginning, you would have to hire someone that you're going to pay them, let's say, 80 to 100 grand salary, let's just say. So then if you plug her in and you know there's room for growth, meaning she'll fill in that gap that's needed in the business, then I would totally consider it, but with rules. Because like we don't agree with everything, but we do disagree sometimes. And then we just make sure we meet in the middle and we kind of look at pros and cons. But we don't argue about it. Does that make sense? Sometimes we still do, because he gets on my nerves and I'm like, oh my goodness. It's inevitable because you're married. But we try to remind each other that, hey, this is work. And when we get home, it's just parent time. Like we're a family, if you will. It's kind of hard to separate the two.
I appreciate exactly what you just said. So a little small background. Yeah, I've been in real estate 20 years and I've been married 15. So... and we follow Tony Robbins and, so we have a nice dynamic in terms of communication at home.
Okay.
Husband and wife. Now, working together might be a different dynamic, right? Because in the business, there are moments where there could be friction and tension and so on and so forth.
Of course.
And I guess that's really more so where the and maybe I'm answering my own question here, but I guess the communication is really where it all lands in terms of working together. And even though you're kind of handling two separate sides of the business, because especially in my business, this, you're building a whole house. So there's a thousand different dynamics to it. But so I guess it's just the communication and just being ultra clear on who's doing what, and then trust that person's going to do that, and try to minimize me chiming in.
Trust, but verify. Trust, but verify. So you got to give people trust. But even like, let's say employees or people don't understand is when you mess it up, it's very hard to get trust back. So you're going to be micromanaged, if you will, to make sure that the job is getting done, right? And like you said, at the beginning, you kind of have to trust, but verify. When the person is ready, you kind of back away. If the person is never ready, then it just might not be a good fit. Because it's hard, when it's family, like to let them go. Or if you personally like someone, like you want to give them chance after chance after chance. And it's hard in business. I've hired family where I'm just like, oh my God, like I got to let this person go. And, it's part of life because it's a business. There's no emotion in business, right? So it makes it a lot harder though when it's someone that you're, have a personal relationship with.
Yeah, Hernan, quick question before we go to the next question. Your wife, is she interested at all, or does she have Has she told you anything, or is this something that you're thinking about telling her?
No, we've discussed this in to a large extent over the years. So it's something we've discussed over time. For her, she has a employee mentality.
Yeah.
So having a job is a sense of security. Where I'm more of an entrepreneur, and I'm like, let's go.
Does
ready
she
to go?
Does she trust you 100%?
You know what? That's a great question. I wonder. You know, she's smiling, she's laughing right now, but yeah, I'll say this: has ridden with me.
Yeah.
This whole time.
So, another follow-up question: your business would you say your business is doing producing far more revenue than her current job?
Yeah, for sure.
Significantly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I would do is I would do two things. I would get somebody like my friend Rob Luna, and I'm not saying that because he's my friend. He's actually one of my best friends, but I would sign up for his academy, Rob Luna. Steph can send you the info because he has weekly Zoom meetings, and then they go over business, finances, like how to increase your company's valuation, how to invest in your company, what to invest in, what not to. So he's more of the financial guru. So whenever I'm going to make a decision about anything that has to do with finances, like should I buy this car? Should I sell this car? Should I buy this for the office? Should I move? Should I buy this real estate? Should I, like, everything that has to do with expenses or revenue or investments? Like, I always kind of run it by him because that's his specialty, and he'll break down your business, compare it to her income, and he'll give you that professional expert financial advice. But that's what he does. Then there's other experts in marketing. There's other experts in other things. So you got to get the information from the right source. One person is good at maybe one thing. You got to get the right info from all different, from the experts. Now, I would recommend you also to read a book with your wife. Oh. It's called Rocket Fuel. Read that book, because if she compliments you, then I think it's a no-brainer. And if you guys are married, I would say to your wife, hey, man, you got to back up your husband or nan. You got to go all in. You got to leave your job, and you got to go all in with him and help blow up your own business.
And try not to kill him in the process.
And blow it up. But read that book with your wife, Rocket Fuel. Yeah. And that book is gonna tell you if you're an operator or a visionary. And that's gonna also tell your wife if she's an operator or a visionary. If you guys are opposites, then you guys are going to work really good together, because like we're opposites. So there you go. Maybe she's the operator and you're the visionary, because that's kind of what I see.
Super diligent, and
there you go.
Very timely, and I'm buying property, and I'm
there you go. You're the crazy maniac like me. You have a vision, and you have a big vision, and you have big dreams.
I see everything. I see everything. So I have a vision, and she's the one that trying to kind of rail it back sometimes, but it's a nice dynamic, because sometimes I need that.
Tell your wife to read that book. Yeah, read that book. It'll confirm she's an operator, integrator. They call it in the book. And then quit your job, join their nan, blow up your business, make millions, and thank me later.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome, my friend.
All right, be well, guys. Thank you.
Awesome. So before we get to the next and final question, just want to say something really quick about Driven, because this is about Driven 6. And Driven 6, it's the 6th year. We're going on Driven 7 now. And Driven was created because we want to teach people all the aspects of business. So because business is not just sales. You need sales for anything, for business. If you don't have sales, you don't have a business. But once you get sales, it's not all about sales. Then you need systems. Sales come before systems. Some people want to get systems before they have sales. That's not a way to do it. You got to get sales and then systems. Systems do not come before sales. Some people are only talented in systems that they fail to get sales. And guess what happens when there's no sales? Your systems are good for nothing. You got to focus on sales and get into a problem where you're getting so much sales that you need systems. For example, McDonald's. McDonald's has systems. because they have people dying to buy those chicken nuggets. People want to get those 9 nuggets, 20 nuggets. People are dying to get those French fries, medium size, large size. People want to get those fries, and there's a huge demand to get those French fries. People like breakfast time. People are dying to get that Egg McMuffin. People want to have that. People are dripping because they want the Egg McMuffin with the ice cream cone, or they want those hash browns. They taste so good, right? So people want to grab those things, and they have a huge demand for their product, meaning sales come easy like this. Why do they come easy like that? Because they market. So marketing is important. So think about McDonald's. They hit every cylinder. They market, which leads to sales, which leads to systems, and then they train their people, because you got to train your people. So if you think about it, don't take it offensive, please. If you work in McDonald's, I never worked in McDonald's, but I have friends that became very successful. So people that work in McDonald's, maybe it's your starting job, but you don't require a super intelligent person, super talented person to work in McDonald's. You could literally hire anyone in the world out of the 8 billion population that we have. You could hire any of those 8 billion people and plug them into McDonald's, because their systems are very simple and easy to follow, that a monkey could follow those systems. Italia could work at McDonald's easy. She could be one of the best employees there. And it's because the systems are simple and they're easy and they're short. Now, why is that working out? Because they have a lot of sales coming in, because they market. They don't sell because their product tastes the best. It's not the best tasting product. Like I've had better hamburgers than McDonald's. Have you guys? I love the Big Mac. I take the bread in the middle, I take it off, and I put extra cheese, and it tastes really, really good. But I have had better hamburgers than Big Macs. Better ones, by far. The French fries, those are pretty damn good. The only better French fries than McDonald's are probably the ones from Hotel Bel Air. But you get the point. They don't have the best tasting products, but they have the best marketing in the world. That's why they're huge. They're everywhere. I think they're the biggest. They're number one in the world. They're everywhere. But that's because they market. So Driven teaches you marketing. It teaches you training. It teaches you systems. It teaches you sales. And then we also teach you investing. How do you invest? How do you invest in real estate? What are stocks? What are the NFTs? Like, we have people like Rob that specializes in certain things, and we have other people that specialize in other things. And then we even have Brad Lee. Isn't Brad Lee great? But yeah, that's what Driven is all about. And we like to teach all the aspects of business. And that's why we are so happy that all of you, or most of you, came to Driven. And we've learned it the hard way with all the businesses we've opened. And we like to share that information with you so that you save a lot of millions of dollars in the mistakes we made, so that way you don't make those mistakes. You could make the little mistakes, but avoid those huge mistakes that could put you out of business.
Yep. Agreed. Is there any more questions, Steph? Okay, so no more questions. So to close it out, Albert, who was your favorite speaker at Driven?
Number one, guys, I'm going to give you one more tip. So, look, when you're aware of everything that's going on, it's very important. So remember, we have our team babe?
Yeah.
And they're going they're throwing signals. Mm-hmm. You got to pay attention to that.
I am.
Because you got to... So I'll move to the question. I think you get the point. When you asked me who's the best speaker, who was my favorite speaker?
Yeah.
So it's not an easy question, but I think my best, my favorite speech was yours.
Okay, aside from me. That was a good answer.
You don't believe me or what?
I mean, aside from me, babe.
Aside from you? I would say, it's if I say somebody, then they're gonna get jealous. I'm looking at the list right here, but I think that
They were all great, by the way. So it's very hard to pick.
Yeah, because
just one.
Eric Thomas opened, and he was great.
He was amazing.
And then we had Andy Elliott, which I heard for the first time. He was great. Then I went up, and then we had yeah, that was great. Yeah, thank you. We had Brad, we had Rob, and then Patrick Bet-David and Dean Graziosi were great. So I was really Patrick. I've heard him before. I know him, but it was a newer.
Josh Altman.
It was
amazing.
a newer speech that I haven't heard before. So I really liked Patrick. I really liked Dean, and we had Josh Altman and Santiago Arana. They were great. Some speakers are more storytellers, and some speakers are more how-tos. Like, I'm going to teach you how to do it step by step. So I like hearing stories. I think stories are what sells. But I'm at a point in life where I like the how-tos. So I want to learn how to do it. So I think if I base it on that, I liked Patrick Bet-David's presentation, and I'll pick that one, and then I'll pick two more. I really liked I liked Rob Luna's presentation because he gives you the information.
Yeah.
So Patrick gives you the how-tos, Rob gives you the information you need to make a decision, and then I really loved Dean Graziosi. Because Dean Graziosi was like a dream come true, because I always wanted to have. That was the only speaker missing to have, because I know he's a huge name in the space, in the self-help events. The only bigger name is Tony Robbins. And there's only one more person that I want to have at Driven that I haven't had before, which you guys know, I just mentioned his name. So Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins were the two people that I haven't had before that I wanted to get off and have at Driven. So take him off my bucket list. So Dean is off. Tony Robbins, you are next. So there you go.
Good.
Who was your favorite?
They were all so good in so many different ways. But I really, really loved Patrick's. Obviously, yours is always amazing. Dean and Patrick.
What did you like about Dean?
I just like the way his the choice of words that he has that makes it so simple to understand, and you can literally feel the knowledge coming through the words, which is crazy. The experience coming through, you can feel it when he's speaking. Because I don't really need motivation or inspiration. Like, I already have that. For me, it's more of information. That's why I've always loved Patrick. Because Patrick is he'll give you all the facts. He studies whatever the hell he's going to talk about. And it's always great information. A lot of it is common sense. But then a lot of it is very intricate with facts. And I always love his presentation. So if I had to pick one, I would say Patrick as my favorite.
And then to close out, guys.
Aside from you, babe.
To close out, guys, the number one thing that I think you took away from the Driven events in general, and my number one thing, if I could pick one thing, I'm going to give you guys the answer right now. If I could pick one thing as the reason why I've accomplished everything that I have accomplished, if I could name one thing, take a guess. Like, what do you guys think it is? Like, what do you think it is, Martin? All right, that's Andrew. What do you think is the number one thing that has allowed me to accomplish everything I have accomplished? What do you think, Steph? Take a guess. One thing.
Drive.
What do you think?
Drive. I said drive.
Systems.
No, none of those. It's relationships. So I'm not the smartest guy in the world at all, and neither is Kim Kardashian or not Kim, the Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner is not the smartest girl in the world, but she's the best marketer in the world. And how did that happen? Through relationships. It's not who knows you. That's a big part of it. You want the world to know you, but it's more of who do you know? So, like, when you know the right people,
yeah,
make a phone call, and you get what you need. Like, what do I need right now? What do you guys think I need right now? Do I need a
drink?
$20 million wire just for the heck of it? I know who to call for that. Yeah. What else? Do I need a private jet to take me right now somewhere? All right, phone call. What else do I need? I need an investor for a new business idea. I know who to call. You know something that, what about an enemy? An enemy that maybe hurt me in some way, or maybe somebody that burned their bridge with me. Guess what I can do? Oh, phone call, close their doors. I like doing that. So I could literally, everybody that has fucked with me, I could close their doors, their powerful doors, or any door that they have with a phone call. Isn't that cool? So relationships are the biggest way of becoming super mega successful. And those huge relationships, you got to take care of them really, really well, because you're just one relationship away from creating your dream life or fucking up somebody's life if you want to. So relationships are powerful. Never burn your bridges. Watch the source of your advice and create the biggest, baddest relationships in the world. And remember that one relationship will lead to the next. But you got to make sure you pick the right relationships. And if you're watching this, hope you took some notes.
Are we done?
Thank you, guys.